Emmanuel. You likely hear that word a lot this time of year, and you likely hear it so much that you don't really give it a second thought. But I want to challenge you, I want to encourage you to take a minute to think about what this word actually means. We're going to look at the significance of Emmanuel. I want to encourage you to dwell on what this means for you for just a minute, because I think Emmanuel changes everything. You might know that Emmanuel was the name given to Jesus before he was born, which is why we hear it so much this time of year. And Emmanuel is a Hebrew name that means God with us. But really, Emmanuel is so much more than just a name. It's who Jesus is. It's describing him, God with us. It means that God isn't distant. He's not over there. He is with you. He's with me. He's with us. He's not forgotten about us. He's not abandoned us. God is with us. It's who Jesus is, Emmanuel. I mean, think about that for a minute. God is with you in whatever you're facing, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're stuck in, whatever's happening to you. God is with you. He's not distant from you. He's with you in that. I love how John says it in John chapter 1. He says, the Word, Jesus, became flesh and made his dwelling among us. In other words, God took on flesh and bones and lived among us. He dwelled among us. I love how Eugene Peterson paraphrases this verse. He says that God became flesh and bones and moved into the neighborhood. Emmanuel shows us that God understands what we're going through. He doesn't just want us to get it right, to figure it out. No, he wants a relationship with us, so much so that he's willing to leave his neighborhood, his perfect heavenly neighborhood, to move into our broken and messy lives, to move into our neighborhood. Emmanuel means that God is with us and lives among us. He moved into the neighborhood. You see, God's not abandoned you in your faults and your failures. He's not forgotten about you in your pain and your suffering. He's aware of what you're going through. He's living in your neighborhood. God is with you. I would encourage you to think about that, to dwell on that, to remind yourself of the truth of Emmanuel. Don't just let this be another word that you hear this time of year and never give a second thought. No, take a minute to remind yourself of what that truth means. To remind yourself that whatever you're going through, God is with you. You see, this is a reminder that I have to remind myself of regularly, so much so that I've had this sign made that says Emmanuel in Hebrew so that I can be reminded every time I see this. It sits on my dining room table every time I see this, that I remind myself that God is with me. He's not forgotten me. He's not abandoned me. He is with me. It's in his name. It's who he is. And I would encourage you to find something that can remind you of this truth, that God is with you. Maybe it's something like this that you hang on your wall, or you put on your table, or you write on your mirror. Maybe it's a reminder you put in your phone, or maybe you change the background in your phone to just be Emmanuel, to remind yourself every time you see it that God is with you. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, whether your life is going as expected or whether it's falling apart, that God is with you. He's moved into the neighborhood. He cares about what you're going through. He wants to help you get through it. God is with you. Emmanuel. Take some time and reflect on what that means for your life.